should we specialise? Should young players or kids specialise in one position?
Oh, yeah. I've had many a debate over this, and I sort of see both sides to it now. I mean, if you're talking from a sort of an industry point of view, I know one of the most famous cases is Ajax, where they rotate a player on around a three, like around a triangle of positions, so that they're always sort of seeing what that area of the pitch is. I think that's a really interesting theory. I remember listening to a podcast on West Brom, and they're quite specific with their positions from about 12, 13, 14 onwards, and then therefore you have a very specific training program for the position that they believe your attributes are matched the best to.
What was their logic behind that?
Their logic behind that was it's your best chance to make it if you strengthen your strengths, and then therefore try and accommodate those weaknesses less and less with those strengths, to make you the best of that position you can. So it's more of an intensive program on, for instance, a centre back. So let's make it very specific in the way that you're going to receive, in the way you might have to outplay someone, in the way you're going to have to defend. Let's strengthen your heading, let's strengthen your perception, and all these based on that position. So then when they get higher up, they're already comfortable with that. For me, it's an interesting question. I don't know. I think it's really, really tough. I think it probably the sit on the fence answer is to say it depends on the individual, because I think there's a lot of people a lot of players who'd say, well, I only want to be this.
Well, you've been turned around since I worked with you then, Thorp. You were very keen on the coaches within your staff team to promote a winger to maybe play centre midfield or a fullback player.
Yeah. No, I think for me it's still very important, and that's why I said that's the sit on the fence answer. I think it definitely differs per individual, and I'm still a big believer in the fact that it challenges them in a way that they probably won't have expected. And I think there's nothing more beneficial than having a winger play fullback, because therefore then you flip the picture and you see what they're going to see, and what they perceive and how they can then counteract that. I think that's very important. Yeah, definitely.
I've just finished reading Johan Cruyff's autobiography, My Turn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like the playing words. His turn to say something, which I don't think he was shy about during
Never.
But also his famous Cruyff turn. Apparently at Barcelona, with the Barcelona A team, the elite adult team, he would have his goalkeeper playing on the left wing, so he would get used to having balls in his feet. So promote that sweeper keeper role. You also mentioned the Ajax youth teams, the youth team view they have there of playing in a three. Is that based on Johan Cruyff's and Rinus Mikkel's total football philosophy of three midfielders? Johan Cruyff was saying in his book that he liked one deep midfielder and two slightly advanced wing midfielders.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was based on the 4-3-3 and around the sort of triangles of positions. So maybe you'd have, for instance, a right back, a centre back, and the sort of holding midfielder on a three rotation, positional rotation, so that it's still in that area of the pitch, and they're sort of learning. When I'm right back, if I'm playing centre mid, what am I seeing? What do I need to show? And vice versa for a centre back, if they're picking the ball up from the goalkeeper, what do they want from the right back? If they played right back and so forth, I'm sure that's the theory, and I think there's a lot of sound based knowledge behind that for sure. Yeah.
That total football got several
Absolutely.
European cups, hasn't it?
I mean, I just think when you talk about positions and I don't think players should be pigeonholed ever for their size. I think it's about, again, you come back to sort of what do they need at that moment? And if they're too comfortable playing in one position, then they need to change. You know what I mean? If you can stretch them a bit further in that same position, then maybe that's what they need. And again, that's what I mean. I think it does come down to the individual. But yeah, definitely still a big fan of playing kids, especially in different positions. I think we've got to be very careful to say, you're this. Yeah, I mean, if you always come back to, I remember going through some of the coaching badges, and they say, at the time, the golden generation of England, you know, most of the, I think maybe all the back four were midfielders or strikers when they were playing academy football. So, I mean, that says it all for me, really. You know, when do you find your position? Again, it depends on the individual, doesn't it? Definitely. I mean, even look at Ronaldo. He's moved to a centre forward now. You know, and he started out as an out-and-out winger. So it's never too early or late.
Gareth Bale, he was a left back.
Exactly, and a not very good one at that defensively. But yeah, exactly.
Now more recently he's played as an inside right.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go. I suppose that says it all.